All right, we can get started. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another sneak preview for the Bull City International Film Festival. My name is Hannah Silverman, and today I am joined with Lynda Reiss, the director of the short film Lancaster Park.
Hi, nice to see you. Thanks for having me.
So I always ask everyone on their first question, how did you get into filmmaking?
Oh gosh, I've been in filmmaking a very long time. I kind of fell into it. I had a friend who was in the business and said that I would be really good because I'm very organized on production side. And I said if I was finally going to get into film, I didn't want to do anything that boring. I wanted to be on the creative side. So I started off wanting to production design. Then I did props for a really long time. And then that just wasn't enough for the creative outlet. And so then I moved into directing.
This isn't your first piece directing? Like you've had a history of doing it in the past?
This is my second short.
Wow. So can you kind of give our audience the idea of what inspired you to tell this particular story, like from Rita's perspective?
Yeah, my first short did very well on the circuit, and but it was really a monologue. There were other people in the film, but really it was a 10-minute monologue of
Wow.
one actor. So I needed to do another piece of work that could show that I could direct multiple actors and different locations and different things. And I decided the writer of my first short is my friend, and he wrote this short, wrote Lancaster Park as well. And I went to him and I said, okay, I want to have a story about a mother and daughter. I really wanted to do something that I could really speak to. Mm-hmm. And I also really wanted to direct women and tell women's stories. So I said, I need a script that is about a mother and daughter, because I'm a single mom who's raised a daughter. And I want to shoot it in California because I'm in California and I have access to a lot of pre-stuff and great people to work with me. So I wanted to do that. And I want it set in a trailer park because I just think trailer parks are really cool. And so he wrote a script. And what was really interesting is we talked a lot about the single parent relationship is very different to a two-parent household, between the child and the parent. And my daughter and I have a really great relationship, but right around the time she was like 15 or 16, she went through like a 6-month period where she literally just didn't talk to me.
Oh, that's heartbreaking. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, she'd walk in the house, I'd go hi, she'd walk right by me, she'd leave for school. And it's part of growing up, and I get that. But when there's only 2 people in the house, it's really weird because you're like, okay, I have no one else to talk to now. And so I wanted to address that, but I also wanted to address the aspects of the guilt that parents have about thinking things about their kids that aren't necessarily true, and what you would do, if you found out that, if you thought your child had done something terrible, how far you would go to protect them.
Yeah. And that was really present in the short film because we could see how she was really kind of struggling with this internal battle because she didn't obviously want to accuse her daughter straightforward. Right. But yeah. Wow. And that came from a very personal background. That's really interesting.
Yeah, I think that was, I think as having been a filmmaker for a long time, I've watched really great directors and read a lot of scripts. And I really think that the best stories, well, the easiest stories to tell are the stories that you can speak to, because like my actress is married and has kids and has a daughter the same age as Simone, her daughter in the film. Mm-hmm. And we had a lot of conversation about, she felt, oh, I wouldn't let her talk to me like that, or I wouldn't do this. And I'm like, yeah, but there's 2 of you. You can play good cop, bad cop. But when there's just one of you, it's really hard to know where to draw the lines.
Right.
And so, you know, so we had a lot of conversation, which was great because I have been there. I knew what it was like. So for me to talk to my actress and help her come find that place for herself, it was really easy because I was speaking from you know, my own experiences. And I think as filmmakers, those are the best stories to tell because you
Right.
can bring all your passion and life experience and knowledge of whatever subject it is to the screen.
And that's interesting because now that this sort of relationship is now on screen, it can relate to an even wider audience in just a different way.
Yeah, yeah. I had a lot of, we've had a couple of, well, we've had several screenings at the end of last year before COVID shut everything down.
Isn't that because of COVID? That's just the instant.
I know. It's sort of like it's going to be the catch-all for anything that ever went wrong. But I had, you know, I had people come up to me afterwards and say, I totally would have done what she did. If
Wow.
I found that in my, you know, if I thought that of my kid. And I would have also totally thought she'd done it. You know,
Yeah.
and that's the thing. It's like, I'm trying not to give too many spoilers away, but it is that thing of, you know, you just jump to these conclusions.
Right.
And I think that's true about any relationships, whether it's parents or children or anybody. It's very easy to jump to a conclusion and then create an entire narrative in your head about that conclusion that has no basis in truth whatsoever.
Yeah. And it's good
And
to
then
see
it's
that.
really
Yeah.
hard to come out of that the other side.
And it's good to see that there are those nonverbal cues that parents have with their children that, yes, I will be on your side. Even, and she didn't even know how much her mom would be how much her mom would stand up for her without you. Like, it was completely like she never knew.
Yeah. And it's funny too, because there's, you know, when people watch the film, they'll see, but again, one of the things that I talked to John, the writer, about was the fact that at 15, 16, especially girls, can flip on a dime. They can be like utter horrors of like she was at the beginning, like, and I had that with my daughter of like just like not talking to me, and then literally the next day they're like, "Mommy, I love you so much." It's usually when money's involved, I have to say, but they do flip. And so there was that aspect too in there, and the idea of like I said, how far you would go. You know, we took ours to a sort of an extreme, and I think sometimes in filmmaking and stories you do have to stretch, you know, what the truth is to get your point across. But I wanted to show that, I always joke that like Jeffrey Dahmer's mom loved him, you know, not that Simone is Jeffrey Dahmer, but you know, it's kind of like as a mother, there's a primal response to your child, whether or not, you know, you can love them, you always love them, you just might not like them all
Yeah, that is true.
the time.
So kind of switching gears at this point, what advice would you give to any prospective filmmakers who are watching this interview? What sort of red flags should they be on the lookout for?
The things that I learned early on, the story's everything.
Yes.
The story's everything. If the story doesn't work, it doesn't matter. You can have the best actors in the world. I've worked on films like that. Best actors in the world, best directors, fantastic, all the money in the world. If the story's not there, it doesn't work. That's number one. Number two, be really careful about casting. Don't just cast your friends because they're available and free. They have to be able to come to the role. Really think about using, as a new as new filmmakers, whatever your age, if you don't have a lot of money, try and find something that you can shoot where you have somewhere that you can shoot. So for example, I said I wanted to shoot in California because I have access to all these things.
Mhm.
So I was able to have incredible, really big name Hollywood crew come and work for me for free because they're my friends. But the same goes for other directors that I know I've worked with. Jeremy Saulnier, his first movie, Blue Ruin, they shot in his mum's house because he could get his mum's house. And also, while they were shooting in his mum's house, she could be making them food. You know, so it's like
built-in craft services.
where you write a story or create something around somewhere that you can film for free, or things that you can get for, you know, if you have amazing access to some really incredibly crazy thing, use it because it's awesome production value. When my first short, I needed a train, and I shot it on the Isle of Man, where I also live when I'm not in California. And there's a steam train, and my producer is friends of the people who run it. And so she made a call, and we got this awesome steam train with, like, you know, smoke coming out and roaring down the track towards us because she knew somebody. So it's always like, you know, find things that you can do. Always feed your crew.
Yep.
And the other thing is, if you're going to spend money anywhere, my advice is to spend it on sound design.
Oh. Can you speak to
Because
that?
sound design can give you so many more layers in your film. I've seen great shorts out on the circuit that could have been amazing shorts had they have had better sound design. And a lot of times people don't think about it. I didn't really know anything about it. It wasn't where my work had been for my whole career. And I met through a friend, a sound designer who has done both of my shorts. I'll never do anything else without him. He created a whole world of sound. And I was like, this is amazing. You know, I had a shot that was against a wall, supposed to be a bus stop, in my other short. And he created, like, you know, chatter and cars going by through puddles because it was rain, you know, and you just felt like there was this whole thing going on behind you while you're watching these people, which is amazing production value. So that's what I tell a lot of people is, you know, if you do have to spend something, if you're gonna spend some money, spend, you know, think about post sound. It's
that is some solid
really amazing stuff can be done. You know, Star Wars would be nothing without great sound design.
Mm-hmm.
You know, exactly. I mean, it's like it can just create such an atmosphere. I'm a huge fan, as you can now tell, about sound design. So,
well, I always like to round off each interview with the scary question. What do you plan to do next?
Oh wow, I have 3 features that I'm on board to direct if they ever get any money. So I've been working on decks and reels and tweaking scripts with the actors on those. I'm working on, I'm developing and have just this week finished the pilot of a miniseries. And so I've been doing a lot of development and writing, creating through the downtime, you know, because we couldn't, I did have a short that I wanted to shoot in my house. Mm-hmm. But then I got really busy writing and it never happened. But I was like, maybe I can just shoot something in the house whilst I'm not doing anything else.
And then everyone's going to be shooting in their houses now with COVID.
I know. Well, that's the other thing. It's like what I loved during one of the shining stars that came out of COVID is how the creative spirit won't be killed. You know, and everybody figured out ways to create things inside their homes and create content. And it was out there, whether it was, you know, TikTok or whatever, you know, it's like people made stuff. Mm-hmm. And some of it was good, some of it was not so good, but people were doing things. And it's just, you know, I mean, even down to like, you know, John Krasinski's, news
Yeah.
program, I mean, and it's like, these things are fantastic. I love the way that people just try and figure out, a way to do stuff. So that's what I've been doing. And we're hoping with the finished first draft of the TV pilot that I can start to get that out to some people I know to have a look at.
Well, good luck to you on those upcoming projects. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing all the other shorts.
Me too.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you everyone for tuning in to the Bowl City International Film Festival sneak previews. Check us out back in March, and we'll see you soon.
All right.